It's Christmas time, and the annals of Irish folklore are absolutely brimming with beautiful and meaningful traditions. Today, I want to share 3 of those customs with you, as well as ways that each of us can borrow and adapt them today, no matter what your background is, no matter what you believe, no matter your religion or spiritual tradition. These 3 customs are for you. So Fáilte a Chairde, welcome my friends. I'm so glad we're here together. It's always a joy. My name is Kate, and I'm a professor of Irish language and folklore, and also the owner of 2 very frisky kittens, if you hear them right now. And I'm also, like I think everyone here, a multi-passionate creator. And I love to make things. And I love the way that Irish folklore inspires us to live more creatively. So that's what we're all about. So let me tell you about these 3 customs. There's so much. Actually, the observation of Christmas in Ireland, and here I'm looking at customs from the 19th and about the first half of the 20th century, is so rich and so deep and also so varied from place to place. But here are 3 that are held in general that we can use ourselves. The first of them is in the time leading up to Christmas, the typical Irish farmhouse was turned top to bottom in a good cleaning. Every bit of linen was washed, every bit of furniture was polished and dusted, and the house itself was whitewashed inside and out. All of this was taking place as the children, as the young ones, I should say, the young people in the house who often had been out doing seasonal work, came home for the great feast. Food was bought. There was actually a belief that really you should not fast at Christmas. You should, and I want to say that for all of us as a bonus, let's not fast at Christmas. Let's indulge and enjoy. Also the Christmas, the bloch na nollag, the Christmas sort of log was bought. It could be or brought in a piece of bog deal or anything that they could find that they could burn. So all of this kind of careful preparation was taking place for weeks ahead of time to be sure that the house itself was ready. So I love that. I think, you know, here at the end of the year, that is something that we can take on ourselves, of just making ready our physical spaces. So that's the first of them. The second is part of that. One of the preparations for Christmas was on Christmas Eve, was putting out the Christmas candles. So traditionally, a big candle was put in the kitchen window, and smaller candles were put in all the other windows. In different parts of the country, they're different colors. Why was this done? This is the part that touches me so much. This was done because there was a belief, at least professed, that the Holy Family was wandering through Ireland that night on Christmas Eve, that Jesus, baby Jesus and Mary and Joseph were out on the roads, and people wanted to offer them fáilte, hospitality, welcome. Now, other people say that they were actually so they would put the candles to light the way of the Holy Family, but also to light the way of anyone who was homeless or lonely, and also potentially the dead. So we talked many videos ago about the dead coming home at Halloween, and I mentioned that this whole dark season, there go the cats, is going on really into the beginning of January. And so here is this idea that even the dead are walking and will come home, and that the candles will guide them home. And what do they find when they come in to an Irish farmhouse? But they find a beautiful fire has been lit, the people have gone to bed, and they've left bread and food on the table for whoever should come in. And the door is left on the latch, or in some cases, the door is left open. I find that beautiful. Now I want to share with you, I've mentioned Bob Feirtéar, who was a tremendous storyteller from around Dingle, just show you Here's Bhab. She actually offers a prayer, and I'm going to read it to you in Irish because it's beautiful. She says, Achas kivelum, le lin du a veog, but I remember when I was young, gurbe ma ahar krina igoni a lasso and clinyawur ichanalig more, that it was always my grandfather who lit the big candle on, and she calls it ichanalig more, Great Christmas Eve. And some people call Christmas itself Nalig War, the Great Christmas. So on Great Christmas, agus jeru sé o bblian blian and fodger ciana, and he said year after year the same prayer. Solas na sil se hugan, agus rairk na trinoidja, agus grasta na faine, in ai na higura. The light of lights come toward us, and may we see the Trinity, literally the sight of the Trinity. May we see the Trinity and the grace of patience. May we have the grace of patience in the face of wrongdoing. So the light of light, may the light of lights come toward us, and may we see the Trinity, and may we have the grace of patience in the face of wrongdoing. That is so beautiful, I think. So that is, I don't know, it just touches me very much. Now, I also wanted to share with you a poem by Myra Wakanti, who is a poet who was born in Dublin in 1922 and really lived all over the world and is, I don't know, just a wonderful poet. And her poem gives you a sense that people saw themselves as participating in the holy story. That is a thing I think that we can take on. We can see ourselves as participating in the story of the season. And you can see that in the Christian sense, or you can see that in the sense of light coming to the world, or the renewal of light, literally with the winter solstice, or any other way. But it's personal. Listen to this. I'm going to read you, there's 3 verses just to let you know, and I'm going to read each in Irish, and then I'll read the English after each. It's called Ichanalig, Christmas Eve. Le cynlia na nangol tan spéir a mwy braca, ta fiacol an taca sa rí ón groc. Adi an tinne is tír chun na leapan, lihi mach jay in san tísa a nacht. With candles of angels, the sky is now dappled. The frost on the wind from the hills has a bite. Kindle the fire and go to your slumber. Jesus will lie in this household tonight. Fagi an doras leahu in the cunye, an waidja na hiochi as a ní a hucht. Johnny de huav na sa ligant awara, lihi mach jay in san tisha a nacht. Leave all the doors wide open before her, the Virgin who will come with her child on her breast. Grant that you'll stop here tonight, Holy Mary, that Jesus tonight in this household may rest. Vi solshe lasso I ddíis na hiachta, cúrú gan cíile, bia agus deach. Da cheannaí alla, da cheannaí siada, ach líche mach dé in san tíise a nacht. The lights are all lighting in that little house, that little hostel, meaning where Jesus was born. There were generous servings of food and wine for merchants of silk and for merchants of woolens, but Jesus will lie in this household tonight. So that sense of bringing the light into your own home, of making the story personal, of the story is happening now. I find that so beautiful. So finally, the last of the 3 customs that I wanted to share with you is the belief, and it's not just in Ireland, but I do love it. So it's in other parts of Europe, that at midnight, the donkeys and the cows and the bulls and all the animals go down on their knees, and for a few divine moments, they have the gift of human speech. So, so lovely. Now, I want to share with you just a little folklore from Donegal, a conversation that I think is, so Scarch an Coiglíach, Godannig ar Slánachur an seal. So the rooster called out that our Savior was born. Giafrin Taindu, Kahur. The blackbird asked, where? Arsa an Coiglíach anocht. Oh, Kamlashkiel, Kahur. When? And the rooster answered, tonight. Scarch an Wallog, Kahach. The bullock asked, where? Arsa an Chira, in Bethlehem. And the sheep answered, in Bethlehem. Duirch glur ins na flahish, glor the yea ins na hardav. And a voice from heaven called out, glory to God in the highest. So that idea that the animals themselves are taking part in this wonderful festival, I love that. I made a song about it, and actually I'll make sure that I link to that song and to the lyrics for you down below. But I wanted to tell you a little story that comes from that collection, which, if you read Irish, Amach as Ucht Nishliu, out of the bosom of the mountain, beautiful collection. There's a story that goes that there was a man who didn't believe that the animals had the power of speech or that they kneeled down on Christmas Eve at midnight. And so he crept into a stable and he looked, and sure enough, he did find that the donkeys especially were kneeling down, and he heard them speaking. And they said, we'll soon be bringing a coffin to the churchyard. Who will it be? Said an animal. The donkey answered, it will be my master who is due to die soon. And who was the master but the man lying there in his disbelief? And when he heard those words, he fell into a swoon, and he was carried into the house, and he died soon after. Now that's a little bit hardcore, isn't it? But what I think that is saying to us is, let's approach these mysteries with reverence and care. Let's throw off cynicism. Let's prepare ourselves to embrace the magic. And there is magic. I will say that. There is magic, and there is renewal. And here it is. So these three beautiful customs, the custom of preparation, I think this is a powerful thing, to prepare and to renew our physical space or our interior space inside ourselves for this time, for the closing of the year, for the renewal of the light that comes with the solstice, for Christmas, for Kwanzaa, for Hanukkah, whatever it is that is for you. Doing some physical preparation. Here comes trouble. The second takeaway is taking part in the story, seeing it as happening now, and seeing that we have a part to play in it. Actually, really, our part can be hospitality, opening our hearts, opening our doors, perhaps opening our generosity, if we can, to those who need it. That's something I think we can all do. And finally, this last piece of believing in magic, throwing away cynicism, and taking in wonder, participating in mystery. These are things, because the world is renewed, we can never forget how magical that is. It happens year and year and year, again and again and again. So I'd love to know from you, which of those three things, the idea of preparing, the idea of lighting those candles and the hospitality and generosity and taking part in a story, and finally letting the magic touch you. Which of those do you want to practice? Which of those do you need the most? Which of those do you feel you already are doing now? Just talk to us about it. The conversations we're having are so beautiful. And I want to thank every one of you who participates and who is part of this conversation. We really have become a wonderful creative community, and I'm so grateful for your presence. Two last things. One, I will link to my song, Angels of the Byre, in case you want to hear the song that I made about that piece of folklore, about the animals. And two, I'll be sending a newsletter out this week to my little gang of newsletter subscribers, and I have a special present, which I'm very excited to give them. And so you might want to jump on. If you do, there's a link down below, and I would love to have you. As ever, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video. It really helps my heart. It keeps my faith up too. And I really love the encouragement and appreciate it. If you haven't, please subscribe and join us here for Irishy inspiration and creativity. You belong. We love to have you. And maybe share the video. All of that. I will see you again next week, but I hope that this week is a week of beautiful preparation, participation in whatever story inspires you, and opening your heart to magic and wonder. Thanks again, my friends. See you soon.